All right, well, welcome to Fueling the Fire, a deep dive into wildland fire contractors. This episode is number one, kind of a test episode. I want to kind of give you my background and kind of the reason for starting this podcast, and then go into how we're going to proceed moving forward. So, this is my first year as a wildland firefighter working with primarily contractors, having zero experience in the contracting space beforehand, or any of the fire space before. It's been a interesting and a crazy journey, getting to know all of the different aspects of the contracting space, and really just the fire space on top of that. My co-host, his name is Brad Ilanumi. He will be joining us as well. He has about 10 years experience in this space, in the structural world and also in the wildland world out in Colorado. That is where we also where I did my training, was out in Colorado at the fire camp out there out of Salida. That's kind of what we'll be getting into, is the how, who, where, what, and of the industry. The why, I think you guys can kind of come up with your own, because that's your own journey of why you're doing this. But the other aspects of it, after going around talking to so many people and telling them what I've been doing, it really came out that there's just no understanding, very good understanding of how to get into the space, where to start. If you're in a state like I am that's on the East Coast where there isn't that many wildfires, that could be changing here in the coming years. I'm located in Connecticut. We just had our first big wildfire this summer. But if you're located in an East Coast state, or a state that doesn't have necessarily fire camps around you, like how do you get your pack test done? How do you get your RT-130 done, your refresher? How do you get a field day done, et cetera, et cetera? This was all stuff I had to learn on the fly. And that's kind of why we're starting this podcast, of telling you guys helping you figure out where to go and what to do. On top of that is kind of deep diving into all of the different avenues that you can go down when it comes to wildfire. So you have the contracting aspect, right? And primarily this podcast is going to be talking about the contractor side of things. But if you have your CDL, what kind of jobs you can do regarding CDL work, trucking work. If you have if you're an experienced operator, a dozer or a excavator, or you name it. Who do you get in contact with? How do you get in contact with them? Where to go to look? There's a lot of the information we'll be pulling from is from Facebook source, talking to people. We'll have guests on that discuss different kinds of avenues you can go down, and jobs that they're doing that you may not think of. Drone operators is another good contract that you can get through Viper. Just interesting stuff like that we'll be talking about. Given my noviceness in this whole industry, Brad will be helping out and kind of helping dive deep into where we need to be going, and giving more details of all this stuff to his best knowledge. And if something we don't know as a collective, then we'll be definitely calling in people to talk about this last Viper cycle, bidding for Type 6s, different engines that were bidded on, and where they sit on the DPL. What is the DPL? Had to look up different contractors that are on the DPL. How to bid. What's a good bidding price? What happens if you bid too low? What happens if you bid too high? What's the best option for that? Lots of interesting things I this summer got to discuss with many different contractors throughout this 4-5 month experience that I underwent, that I really think is good, positive information, and something that they don't really talk about much out in the world. You have your Hot Shot Wake Up podcast and Instagram page. That's amazing, fantastic resource for information. It's heavy on the Fed side. There's some talk of contractors, but not a whole heck of a lot. We are not here to bash the federal government in any way, shape, or form. We're not looking to get anyone kicked off their Viper contracts. We're simply trying to open up the information to those who are interested in getting involved in wildland fire, but don't want to go down the Fed route, want to go down the contracting route, or have equipment that they want to put out there and say, hey, I got an excavator, I got a cat, I got a skid steer, I got a masticator. I've got something that I want to put on a Viper contract. How do we go about that? When can you do that? I was looking online, a couple buddies of mine were talking, and it looks like they're going back up to the 5-year cycles for the contracts. So, what does that mean? Just looking into stuff like that. So if you're interested, you're still listening, that's fantastic. We would love to have you, and hit subscribe, and we'll be having more podcasts coming in the next couple weeks. We'll be probably doing it once a week and bringing on guests. So thanks for joining us on our first episode. Stay safe out there, and keep the fire line strong.